Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to give you all just a little bit of a update here from the whole remote rating situation here on my end, and I just wanted to say that I'm supporting the Hear Us Niantic movement right here. If you all haven't really heard about what's going on from Niantic from the last video that I uploaded, remote rating essentially got nerfed, but basically Niantic hasn't really chosen to do anything here to incentivize going back to in-person rating, and just the bonuses aren't really as lucrative, I guess, as as many people thought it would be. And again, this is really affecting a lot of different people, like mostly people who are disabled, people who have to work a lot, people who have families to manage, things like that, and just really don't have a lot of time for the game. So again, this is just honestly so heartbreaking just to see these things happen. And of course, we as a Pokemon Go community, I think for me myself, I'm also part of a fairly active Pokemon Go community where I am over here. Just wanted to say that again, while I do value the in-person experiences that this game has provided, also the remote aspect has also been very helpful and very just helpful, especially during the pandemic times, as well as when you just don't have time to do things in person, right? So this is a letter from a bunch of different content creators and then just other people who are supporting this Hear Us Niantic movement. Again, this is the second time that we've had to do this. The first time was for the pandemic bonuses and things like that, but the second time is purely to address these changes that will be taking in effect on April 6th at 11 a.m. Pacific. So without further ado, I'm going to take a look at this letter right here and just go ahead and read it out for you all. It says, "Dear Niantic, we are writing to you on behalf of your customers, the Pokemon Go community. We want to start off by letting you know that we love Pokemon Go. Not just Go, but the Pokemon franchise in general. We are and always will be passionate, loyal, and vocal about our thoughts and concerns. We want Pokemon Go to succeed, and we want to be able to play this game, the game we love, for years to come. Unfortunately, we as a whole feel unheard. Time and time again, our questions go unanswered. Our concerns are not addressed, and most importantly, our needs are not taken into proper consideration. As of now, we are specifically referring to the April 6th remote raid pass updates. We do not agree with your decision, and the majority of us want you to know that limiting remote raids to 5 passes per day will harm rural trainers who lack adequate local community supports, trainers with disabilities who physically cannot get outside to play, trainers who have severe social anxiety who struggle mentally to get outside to participate in in-person raids, trainers who work night shifts and cannot participate during the day, single-parent trainers who are managing children, a household, and a career with minimal time to spare. And most importantly of all, the remote raid changes will limit our global interaction with our trainers, who we have developed tight bonds with over the last 3 years. Every form of trainer has equal and every right to play and enjoy Pokemon Go. And at the end of the day, the world has evolved since the pandemic. The landscape of working, playing, and interacting has evolved and changed. Trainers now work at home. Through the new work and life dynamic, rich remote communities were built. These communities are just as viable and strong as the in-person communities. These communities are unique, special, and one of a kind. And we know from the bottom of our hearts that there is equal room to have both types of communities flourish simultaneously." And here's the second page. "If Niantic's goal is to get trainers outside, reward players significantly for doing in-person raids. Rewards such as guaranteed XL candies, increased lucky friend odds during the first time in-person raid interactions, offering premium items such as incubators, star pieces, and etc. from in-person raids. Incentivize the in-person raids, but do not take away and squander what we've built globally over the last 3+ years. Without remote raids, The opportunity to attend live events to meet with our global Pokemon Go friends will not be as enticing, exciting, or robust. We as a global community did not want the remote raid issue to come to this point, but as already mentioned, we are not heard. We are sad, distraught, and discouraged because our interactions with our global friends will no longer be free to accommodate for every type of global Pokemon Go trainer. Please, for the second time, hear us Niantic. Talk to your community. Talk to us. Let's have a discussion. The answer is beyond creating scarce limitation for remote raids, but creating a rich, incentivized environment to encourage local community congregation. Sincerely, the Pokemon Go community. And yeah, with that, again, I just wanted to give a little bit more feedback here about this, and just to give you guys my own personal take on this issue. And again, as I mentioned in my last video briefly, just the details about this upcoming change that we have in Pokemon Go. I know for myself, it's just really hard, especially as someone who's working full time and just has other priorities on his plates, and the only time that I do really have is just like the here and there, right, just to get the occasional remote raid in and all that. But to see Niantic nerf it to this extent is just truly mind-boggling, I think, just from my perspective. Like, why are you limiting the amount of remote raids that people can do? At the very least, do something more to the in-person experience, which you are clearly trying to get towards, right? Again, Niantic has also said that they were planning to make the in-person experience much more valuable, much more incentivized, but I guess clearly they haven't really listened to that yet. They only said from their last updates, oh yeah, we're going to, probably get some more XL candies increased from in-person raids, and that doesn't really mean too much, honestly. It's just so vague, like how big of a drop is it, and is it going to happen, X amount of the time, right? So again, this is just so frustrating to see, and I just want to say that I want to say also here as Niantic again about this whole thing too. Like as for myself, as for the community that I play with as well, all my friends who also play this game, I'm sure we're all very disappointed just by this decision and by this update, and we all should continue to come together and just stand for what's right. I know this is just a game, but this is a lifestyle as well, and also just a way of life. Because again, Pokemon Go, the whole point of the game was to bring people together, right? I think when the game first started in 2016, I just want to give you a little bit of a history here. I was a beta tester for the game, and I immediately saw the potential that it had, and just all the different aspects of the game that have been updated since then truly has been amazing. And again, the introduction to remote raiding during the pandemic was especially big, especially helpful, for those of us who were affected by the pandemic, myself included, But again, just to see this happen, you're completely nerfing one side of the spectrum here with remote raids, but you aren't really doing anything to incentivize the in-person aspect now that the pandemic is, quote unquote, starting to go away. Well, again, what I have to say to that is that, COVID won't really go away, at least not for the time being, not anytime soon, right? There are still people who are definitely limited by, their disabilities or by their sicknesses or just whatever else they have going on, right? And for them to have to be forced to, pay like double the amount they have to, or almost double the amount they have to raid remotely, and have only a couple chances a day to do it, right? Especially if you're trying to grind for like the XLs of like a certain legendary, what are you going to do now, right? You only have a limited amount built up, and again, you aren't able to do as many in-person raids, right? Who has all the time to go to do in-person raids, when there are just so many other life priorities to take care of, right? So yeah, that's just my whole take on this thing. So again, here at Niantic, and we look forward to hearing from you. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.